extraction of low reactive metals, low reactive crude metals. Extraction of low reactive metals. Extraction of low reactive metals. In that already I told you. So number of are there: Rm, silver, platinum, mercury. These are extra. These are low reactive metals actually. Less reactive. I already told you. Low reactive metals can obtain in native state directly. In native state means if they having any reactivity, they can combine with active element in the environment. What is active element? So majorly environment having a major percentage of nitrogen, and after that oxygen is there. Nitrogen is inactive element, oxygen is active element. So if they are reactive, they can react with oxygen or any other oxides. Okay, in sulfur oxides, like that, they will deposit it as their compounds. But these are very less reactive or reactive. They have no any reactivity. Okay, so in such cases, they cannot form any special compounds. That's why they directly occurred in the nature in the form of native state. Means gold obtained in the form of gold, not any different form. Silver, silver obtained in the form of silver, like that. But certain cases only they obtained in the form of compounds. Only certain cases. So, for example, if you want to get that mercury from cinnabar, is the formula of cinnabar is HCl, mercuric sulfide. The formula of cinnabar is mercuric sulfide. So what it is? It is a sulfide ore. So for sulfide ore, yesterday I told you there is a special technique for sulfide ore. Fourth flotation is a general technique, but it is considered under concentration of ore. Then yesterday I told you roasting. Heating of sulfide ore in presence of oxygen. The process is roasting. Cinnabar is a sulfide ore. That's why it can heated with in presence of air. That is nothing but oxygen. Now this mercuric sulfide is converted into mercuric oxide. The sulfur will get that oxygen and eliminated in the form of SO2. Eliminated in the form of SO2. So now what we get? Mercuric oxide. This mercuric oxide on just heating, it can divide as mercury and oxygen. Now there we get a crude metal of mercury. This one is for extraction of mercury from cinnabar. It is a simple method. What we are discussing here, extraction of low reactive metals. Here we are discussing. Generally, low reactive metals obtained in the form of their native state, original state. But only in very less cases, they are obtained in the form of compound state. So a compound state. So even though they are obtained in the form of compound state, it is very easy to convert the compounds into original elements, because of they are low reactive. If they forms any compound, they are very unstable. By using very easiest ways, we can again convert those compounds into corresponding metals like this. Cinnabar is a sulfide ore, so it is roasted with in presence of air. So this sulfide ore converted into oxide, mercuric oxide, and the sulfur will get oxygen and eliminated as sulfur dioxide. Then after getting the mercuric oxide and heating, this mercuric oxide easily divided into mercury and oxygen. It is a very simple method to obtain the mercury from cinnabar. Next, for example, how to take silver. For silver, there is a special technique to obtain that silver. Look here. How to take silver ore, Ag to S. Then this Ag to S is treated with KCN, potassium cyanide. But in your textbook, they mention, just don't confuse, they just mention Cn minus. In your textbook, they just mention Cn minus. Nothing but Cn minus is nothing but what? K plus Cn minus. So just remove that K and they took Cn. That's enough. When silver sulfide is treated with KCN, then immediately the cyanide will attach to that silver to form a complex. AgCN taken twice minus. It is dicyanoargentate. It is dicyanoargentate. The name of the complex is what? Dicyanoargentate. When silver sulfide ore is heated with KCN, that will convert into dicyanoargentate. This potassium can get that sulfur eliminated as potassium sulfide. Potassium sulfide. So balancing is needed. Just leave that. Don't worry. So potassium sulfide on reaction with KCN converted into dicyanoargentate. Now this dicyanoargentate AgCN twice minus. I have to take 2 moles. Treated with zinc. Then zinc will get the cyanides and eliminated as ZnCN taken 4 minus 2 plus it leaves silver. What we want, guys? What we want generally? Generally, we want silver. What is the importance of metallurgy? To obtain metal from earth crust. So metals are obtained in the form of ores. That one is our aim. Here cinnabar is a ore of mercury. From the cinnabar is nothing but mercuric sulfide. So from that we extracted mercury. So silver sulfide is a ore. From that what we extract? Silver by using this method. First silver sulfide is treated with potassium cyanide. It will convert it into dicyanoargentate. This dicyanoargentate again treated with zinc. It converted into, zinc gets the cyanide, then it will leaves silver form. Okay, same method is useful for extraction of gold. So gold is not obtained in the form of ore. It is directly obtained. If there are any contaminants, it is treated with KCN. Then gold can form a tetracyanoarate. Gold is a R. Tetracyanoarate. 4 cyanides are needed. Then tetracyanoarate again treated with zinc, we will get R. Just the same process for gold also. Here. So there are 3 methods: concentration of ore or dressing. Next, extraction of crude metal. Next one is purification of metal. So in that extraction of crude metal, again for high reactive metals, moderate reactive metals, less reactive metals. First 2 cases already we discussed. The last cases is extraction of low reactive metals. For extraction of low reactive metals, so generally these are very less reactive. That's why they are obtained in the form of native state or original state. They are silver, gold, platinum, and mercury. But only they can form few compounds. For example, cinnabar is a ore of mercury. The formula of cinnabar is HZS. On heating of cinnabar, HZS with oxygen and roasting with oxygen, it will convert it into mercuric oxide. This mercuric oxide and further heating will leave as mercury and oxygen. In case of silver sulfide is a ore. When it is treated with potassium cyanide, it is converted into dicyanoargentate. This dicyanoargentate is again treated with zinc, and which is converted into zinc tetracyanozincate and silver. So here silver is extracted. Same process, same is happening in case of RM also. So I want to represent that one is also. How to look on this? How to try to remember formulas. Okay. Then in case of gold, look here, what's happened? Same process takes like silver. In case of gold also, look here, what's happened? Look here, in case of gold, how to take AU? When AU treated with KCM, no other, no other element in case of AU, because AU obtained in the form of AU. If there is any contaminant, only AU reacts with KCM. That's why. So it will convert into AU CN taken 4 minus. Then this AU again AuCN taken 4 minus is treated with zinc. Just zinc replaces that AU. So there we will get a Zn CN taken 4 minus plus AU, which is not present in textbook, but as like silver, it is also extracted. Silver lage దీన్ని కూడా extract చేస్తారు. So that one is the extraction of low reactive metals. Okay. So next, I want to move to next topic. So from this, I think two topics are, two categories are completed from this. One of the category is what? One of the category dressing or concentration of ore. Second category extraction of crude metal. Third category purification of crude metal and converted into pure metal. Purification of crude metal and conversion into pure metal. And crude metal impurities ఇంకా ఏమన్నా రిమూవ్ చేసి దాన్ని ఏమైనా కన్వర్ట్ చేయాలంటే ప్యూర్ మెటల్ కన్వర్ట్ చేయాలి. ఓకే, దట్ వన్ ఇస్ ది థర్డ్. వాట్ ఇట్ ఈస్? ప్యూరిఫికేషన్ ఆఫ్ మెటల్. Purification of crude metal. It is also called refining of metals. Refining of crude metal. It is also refining of oil అంటారు చూడండి. Refining of oil అంటే ఆయిల్ ని శుద్ధి చేసేటువంటి ప్రక్రియని రిఫైనింగ్ అంటాం. ఆయిల్ ని ఏం చేయాలి? శుద్ధి చేయాలి, అంటే క్లీన్ చేయాలి, దాన్ని రిఫైనింగ్ అంటాం. అలాగే ఇక్కడ ఏంటంటే రిఫైనింగ్ ఆఫ్ క్రూడ్ మెటల్, అంటే క్రూడ్ మెటల్ లో ఉన్నటువంటి ఇంప్యూరిటీ రిమూవ్ చేసి ప్యూర్ మెటల్ ని అబ్టైన్ చేసుకోవాలి. ఓకే, ఇందులో ఏమేమి టెక్నిక్స్ ఉంటాయి? ఫస్ట్ వన్ ఈజ్ డిస్టిలేషన్. Here four important techniques are there. Four are there. First one is distillation. First one is distillation. So, how to think about distillation? What is distillation in general case? Distillation for already we get crude metal by using different techniques. Okay, but by using another different techniques, we can purify this. In that, distillation is a method. It is specially for high melting point compounds. High melting point compounds. High melting point compounds. For example, not only ore with gangue. A metal with gangue. Gangue is what? Gangue means impurities, if impurities present in a metal, those impurities in the ore, those impurities are called gangue. So if you remove that gangue particle, we will get a metal. Exactly. Here, if there is a large difference between melting point of gangue and exact metal, so for those distillation is used. Particularly for two metal, zinc and mercury, this process is very important. For zinc and mercury, distillation process is carried. Why? Because look here, I want to take a distillation class which is not present in your textbook. Just for explaining, I want to try a distillation class. Roughly, I want to represent. I want to take roughly. I want to just represent as roughly I want to represent. So how to take here zinc plus any impurity, zinc plus impurity. For example, zinc with low MP, then sorry, not MP, BP. Sorry, BP means boiling point. So it is for high boiling point compounds. High boiling point compounds. I mean, if there is a large difference between boiling point difference between gangue and metal. So, for example, a zinc with gangue particles. If zinc with a low BP, low boiling point, but gangue, this gangue having a high BP, high BP. If you heat that, if you heat that, what's happened? For example, so if you increase the temperature study, and one of the temperature, what is mean by boiling point? What is mean by boiling point? At which temperature a solid converted into, I mean a liquid convert, solid convert, first solid convert to liquid, then liquid converted into vapor. So at which so at what temperature a liquid converted into vapor, that one is nothing but a boiling point. If you steadily heat this one, zinc having low boiling point, so that's why it can easily boil at certain temperature. Or mercury, for example, another thing, whatever you can take, these two are metals considered under distillation. So if you heat that, so mercury having lesser boiling point, now this one easily converted into vapor, it can escape through this tube. And there you have to take water condenser. They have to take water condenser and cool that. So here what happened on heating, this mercury having low boiling point, it can easily escape from the gangue. Gangue is remaining here. So this mercury converted into vapor and it can travel through this tube. There what's happened at the cutting of this tube, I mean at the mold of this tube, there we can cool that vapor. This vapor again converted into liquid. This vapor again converted into liquid because on heating it converted into vapor and cooling it converted into liquid condensation. So now this liquid can collected. What happened finally? We separated that mercury from gangue. Okay, I mean we separated mercury from impurities based on what? Based on boiling point difference. So mercury having low boiling point, that impurity is having high boiling point. So also zinc having a low boiling point and impurities having high boiling point. So zinc and mercury we can purify, we can distill those metal by using distillation. Okay, I understand, guys. I hope you understand. It is very easy. Okay. Hey, simple ra. ఇప్పుడు వంటల్లో బియ్యము మామూలుగా ఉడకబెట్టి చేస్తారు కదా. ఏం వెళ్ళిపోతాయి. ఐ మీన్ వాటర్ వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత జనరల్‌గా అవి ఏం మిగులుతాయి చూడండి. అంటే వాటర్ బాయిలింగ్ పాయింట్ వరకు మనము హీట్ చేస్తాం. బాయిలింగ్ పాయింట్ వరకు హీట్ చేసినప్పుడు ఆ వాటర్‌ని యూజ్ చేసుకొని రైస్ అనేది ఉడకడం జరుగుతుంది. రైస్ ఏం వెళ్ళిపోదు కదా! దాని బాయిలింగ్ పాయింట్ వచ్చినప్పుడు అది కూడా వెళ్ళిపోతుంది. వాటర్ బాయిలింగ్ పాయింట్ వస్తుంది కాబట్టి వాటర్ వెళ్ళిపోతుంది. ఆ టెంపరేచర్ దగ్గర రైస్ అనేది అవుతుంది జనరల్‌గా జరిగేది. హ్మ్. అంటే మనం ఇప్పుడు ఒక ఏదైనా లేదా ఒక బకెట్‌లో వాటర్ అక్కడ పెట్టేసామనుకోండి. కొద్ది రోజుల తర్వాత వాటర్ అంతా వెళ్ళిపోయి అక్కడ లాస్ట్‌లో అడుగున కొద్దిగా ఏదో డస్ట్ లాగా మిగిలిపోతది జనరల్‌గా అతుక్కొని జస్ట్. అంటే అర్థమేమని దాని వాటర్ బాయిలింగ్ పాయింట్ 100 కాబట్టి 100 తగలగానే అది వెళ్ళిపోయింది. మిగతా డస్ట్ అంతా అక్కడ మిగిలిపోయింది. దాని బాయిలింగ్ పాయింట్ అది కాదు కదా! సేమ్ దట్ వన్ ఈస్ నథింగ్ బట్ డిస్టిలేషన్. ఓకే. నెక్స్ట్ ఏం చేస్తున్నామండి ఇక్కడ ప్యూరిఫికేషన్ ఆఫ్ క్రూడ్ మెటల్ చేస్తున్నాం. అందులో ఒకటోది ఏం చెప్పాను డిస్టిలేషన్. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ డిపెండ్ ఆన్ ది బాయిలింగ్ పాయింట్ డిఫరెన్స్ బిట్వీన్ కరస్పాండింగ్ మెటల్ అండ్ ఇట్స్ ఇంప్యూరిటీ. ఓకే. ఒకటి ఎక్కువ ఒకటి తక్కువ ఉండాలి. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ అ స్పెషల్ టెక్నిక్ ఫర్ జింక్ అండ్ మెర్క్యూరీ. నెక్స్ట్ second method, next important and second method is important. Polling. What it is? Polling. Have to take a tank like this. Have to take a tank like this and have to take a certain liquid ore or liquid metal, molten metal. I want to take iron pyrites, CuFeS. Iron pyrites. What it is? Iron pyrites. Iron pyrites. Iron pyrites generally. So molten metal I want to take. Then what's happened? I have to take a tank. In that, what you take a molten metal. Molten metal means what? A liquid metal. Then this molten metal is stirred with long wooden poles. First, you should take a ore or a liquid metal into tank. Then this liquid metal is stirred with a long wooden pole. Long wooden pole means ఇప్పుడు కట్టెలు ఉంటాయి కదా, చాలా పొడవు కట్టెలు కదా, ఆ కట్టెలతో ఏం చేయాలంటే దీన్ని బాగా స్టిర్ చేయాలి. ఓకే. సో molten metal is taken in a tank in the form of liquid. Then this liquid is stirred with long wooden poles. పెద్ద కర్ర చెక్కలు తీసుకొని పట్టుకోలేటం చూడండి. అలాంటి పెద్ద చెక్కలు తీసుకొని ఏం చేస్తారంటే this liquid is stirred with that wooden poles. During the stirring, where they are kept in high temperature because of they are in a molten state. During the stirring, if the gas, if there are gas impurities, they can escape. For example, sulfur escaped in the form of sulfur dioxide. And remaining impurities formed on the surface of this liquid. Formed on the surface of the liquid in the form of scum. It is called slag. What is polling? A liquid metal is stirred with a long wooden poles is nothing but polling. Liquid metal is stirred with a long wooden poles. It is nothing but stirring. During this stirring, what's happened? Gas impurities can escape into the environment, and remaining impurities formed as a scum on the surface of the liquid. This scum is nothing but slag. What it is called? Slag. Slag. So this technique is particularly for copper iron pyrites, formed CuFeS2 for extracting copper. So in this process we will get blister copper. So we will get what? Blister copper. Blister copper is nothing but not high pure copper. It having certain impurities. Blister means holes. Metal then petrol. Honeycomb. Honeycomb is there. Like that we will get blister copper. Copper with holes. Because of gas will be escaped from the metal. That's why holes are formed. So it is a blister copper. So pouring is simple phenomena, guys. Pouring and a liquid metal is stirred with the long wooden poles. It's nothing but pouring. So during the stirring, during the stirring, the gases can easily escape to the environment, and remaining impurities and ore formed as a scum on the surface of the during very vigorous stirring. We have to do very vigorous stirring. Then there on the surface it is formed as a scum. That scum is nothing but what? Slag. It is a special technique for copper. During this pooling, what we obtained? Blister copper. Blister copper is nothing but it is not high pure copper, ultra pure copper. It is not ultra pure copper. Okay, so that one is the second technique. The first technique is what? First technique is what, guys? Distillation. It is depend on what? It is depend on what? Boiling point. Next technique is what? Boiling. Boiling means stirring with wooden poles. Okay, so next one. I want to go to next one. Try to remember what is slag, blister copper. How to remember those? Okay, then want to move to the next third category. It's a liquation. Liquation. Third category is what? Liquation. Liquation. Just look here. How to take a heat. Heat means a heating surface. It is depend on melting point actually. Distillation is depend on what? Boiling point. Liquation is depend on what? Melting point. Just how to take metal with certain impurity on the head of the, there at a certain height, how to take a metal with gangue. Metal with gangue. Metal with gangue. Here how to take metal with gangue. So now a metal with gangue placed at certain height on head. Head is a heating surface. Now what it is allowed to high temperature. Why I want to take that thing? In this technique, we specially purify tin. That's why I do that. So now at high temperature, this was placed at certain height. During that high temperature, the low melting point containing metal can convert it into liquid easily. So then it can easily float on the surface of this metal into downwards. There we can correct that. That process is nothing but liquation. Now impurities are remain there. Why? Because impurities having a high melting point. For example, tin having 40 degrees centigrade melting point. For example, not correct. If water having 100 degrees centigrade boiling point. Why tin having only 40? Tin is a metal. So somewhat 400 example. I don't know why we know melting points of all metals. How we know? You can't remember. So, okay. Then, for example, 400 degrees centigrade. Impurity is having 500 degrees centigrade melting point. If we heat that one 400 degrees centigrade, what happened? Impurities remain there. They cannot melt. But the metal which 400 melting point can melt from here and it can float on the surface of this earth and we can collect there. This process is nothing but liquation. What it is called? Liquation. So it is a special technique for tin, which one having low melting point. So guys, here what we are discussing. So in metallurgy, particularly extraction of metal can divide into how we can extract by taking three categories. First one is concentration or dressing. Second one is extraction of crude metal. Third one is purification of metal. So first category lo mala emosthundi hand picking, washing, cold flotation, magnetic separation. Second category lo mala extraction of high reactive, moderate reactive, low reactive metals. So again, high reactive metals they are obtained in the form of electrolysis process. Next, middle reactive metals are obtained in the form of sulfides and carbonates generally. First, they convert into oxides by roasting and calcination. Then, after getting their oxides, they involve in the reduction. So, there are again reduction with carbon monoxide, and reduction with high reactive metals, and also self-reduction, aluminum thermite process we discuss. Next, extraction of low reactive metals. So there mercury, cinnabar we extracted, silver extracted, iron we extracted in this class, or they are obtained in the form of native state. After completion of extraction of crude metal, third category is there, purification of this metal, crude metal. So in that, first one is distillation, second one is pooling, third one is liquefaction. Distillation is run based on what boiling point difference between impurities and metal. So there we can separate zinc from impurities, mercury from impurities by using distillation. I already explained by using distillation tank how we can. So after that I discussed pooling. Pooling is nothing but stirring of liquid metal or molten metal with long wooden poles. On stirring, what happened? The gaseous impurities can escape into the environment and remaining impurities form as a scum on the surface of the liquid. That scum is nothing but slag. In this process, it is specially for copper. In this process, we get copper. The copper is called blister copper. The copper is called blister copper actually. Next one is liquefaction. Liquefaction is a technique. It is depend on the melting point difference. If metal with low melting point, impurities with high melting point, liquefaction is the better technique. During the heating on head, the metal will be melted and it will be collected downwards, and impurities remain there. That means gangue particles are separated. That one is called liquefaction. Next, last, already we discussed this, but look here, electrolytic refining. Electrolytic refining or electrolytic purification. Electrolytic refining. Electrolytic purification. Look here. Electrolytic purification. Electrolytic refining or electrolytic purification. It is nothing there. So electrolysis is generally carried by using electrolytic cell. It is electrolytic cell actually. It is one is anode, one is cathode. It is, for example, anode example. Now it is a cathode. What we use liquid, it is electrolyte. In this process, particularly, this is specially in this process we get high pure metal actually. So in the place of anode, what we get? In the place of anode, what we get? In the place of anode, we have to take impure metal. Very important, impure metal as an anode. Then cathode, what we take? Pure metal we take as a cathode. What's happened? Impure metal taken as an anode, pure metal taken as a cathode. For example, if you copper is electrolyzed in this process actually. For example, at anode, what's happened? At anode, we took impure copper. Impure copper means a crude metal taken here as an anode. Then pure metal taken at a cathode. At anode, what's happened? That impure copper loses electrons and converted into Cu+2, and it releases 2 electrons. Then at cathode, what's happened? This Cu+2 will get 2 electrons and deposited as a C. అంటే ఇక్కడ ఏముందండి, కాపర్ ఉంది, ఇంప్యూర్ కాపర్ ఉంది, అంటే సియు ఉంది, దాంతోపాటు గోల్డ్ ఉంది, దాంతోపాటు సిల్వర్ ఉంది, దాంతోపాటు డస్ట్ ఉంది, దాంతోపాటు మిస్ట్ ఉంది, దాంతోపాటు ఫాగ్ ఉంది, వాట్ ఎవర్ ఇంప్యూరిటీ హ్యావింగ్. కానీ డ్యూరింగ్ ది ఎలక్ట్రోలైసిస్ వాట్స్ హ్యాపెన్, ఓన్లీ కాపర్, రిమైనింగ్ ఆల్ ఆర్ దేర్, only copper can losses electrons and convert into Cu+2. It can merge into the electrolyte. After conversion of Cu+2, it can merge into the electrolyte. It can come to the electrolyte. Then these Cu+2 migrates to cathode. ఇక్కడ ఫామ్ అయినటువంటి Cu+2 ఎక్కడికి వెళ్ళిపోతుందా, cathode దగ్గరికి. Then these Cu+2 gains 2 electron and deposited as copper. What copper? Pure copper. అంటే ఇక్కడికి వెళ్ళిపోయి Cu+2 అక్కడ 2 ఎలక్ట్రాన్ తీసుకొని ఏంగా డిపాజిట్ అయిపోతుంది, కాపర్ గా డిపాజిట్ అయిపోతుంది. సో దెన్ రిమైనింగ్ ఇస్ వాట్, ద వెయిట్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ యానోడ్ విల్ బి డిక్రీజ్, ద వెయిట్ ఆఫ్ cathode will be increased. Why? Because the amount of copper is started moving from anode to cathode. That impure copper is converted into pure copper at where? Cathode. That's why amount of weight of cathode steadily increased, weight of anode steadily decreased. And remaining is what here? Remaining is these all. These all impurities are settled at the bottom of the anode like this. It is called anode mud. Anode mud it is. But it is anode mud. So during this process, what we get? High pure copper metal. For example, not only copper, you have to take a metal M. It loses a n number of electrons. It lost n number of electrons. Now at cathode it gains n number of electrons and converted into metal. General case, in general case, not only copper. For example, any other metal, copper, lead also purified like that. Okay, so it is the electrolyte refining or electrolytic purification. What's happening in electrolytic purification? The impure metal taken as an anode, the pure metal taken as the cathode, and we took corresponding electrolyte here. At anode, metal losses electrons. At cathode, that ion gains electrons and deposited as a pure metal. And remaining impurities are still at anode. That is nothing but anode mud. That is nothing but anode mud. This entire process is called electrolytic purification, electrolytic refining. Okay, electrolytic refining. For a number of ways are there. For purification of metal, zone refining is there, vapor refining is there. They are present in IIT or IIT point of view or objective point of view. So those discussed in objective point of view only, but in state syllabus they are not there. That's why we don't want to discuss here, because there is a difference between objective point of view and state syllabus. Okay, in objective point of view we will discuss later definitely. Tarvata discuss chestam what you gurinchi. Idi just it is for general state point of view. Okay, try to remember these 2 minutes, try to remember. Then I want to move to the next aspect. I want to give you 2 minutes time for rewind all aspects what we discussed today. Low reactive metal obtaining and purification lo malla manam distillation, pouring, liquation, electrolytic purification discuss chesam. Vaatni okasari rewind cheskoni fast ga mind lo. Then I want to move to the next aspect. Okay, guys. Then I want to move to the final aspect of the day. Final aspect of the day. It is very simple method. It is very simple. Up to here, that extraction of metal is completed, but certain metallurgical process are there to discuss tomorrow. Those, okay, certain furnace are there. Furnace is used for heating of the substance actually. So we'll discuss later. So then, particularly guys, next one is corrosion. It is a corrosion actually. So generally corrosion is a phenomena. For example, corrosion involving the metal conversion of metal into conversion of metal into its mineral form. Okay, guys, conversion of metal into its mineral form is nothing but corrosion actually. So generally, for example, iron involved in rusting actually. What's happened on long standing iron rod will become rusted. So due to the exposing into the atmosphere, so for example, have to take an iron rod. When it exposes to the atmosphere, what's happened? It reacts with oxygen. It involves in rusting. So in case of silver, it is called tarnishing. In case of silver, it is called tarnishing. So what is corrosion? Corrosion is a technique conversion of metal into its mineral form. It is nothing but corrosion. So generally, if iron involved in the corrosion, the phenomenon is called rusting. If silver involved in the corrosion, the phenomenon is called tarnishing. So here, specially, we discussed only iron. How iron involved in the rusting. So here we are discussing only that. For example, we know that we can see that one is in general in our society iron involved in rusting. In general case, that one is iron involved in the rusting. So particularly how it look here, want to explain that. It is a electrochemical phenomena actually. So you can't understand what is electrochemical phenomena. It's present in electrochemistry. Olympiad students somewhat they understand. So then already they studied in Olympiad syllabus in 9th class, I think. Okay, whatever it is, corrosion, how iron involved in the rusting, look here. When iron is exposed to the atmosphere, the iron involved in oxidation, then it loses electron and converted into ferrous ion. It loses electrons. Atmosphere certain amount of oxygen. These oxygen gets that 2 moles have to take. Here also 2 moles. 4 electrons will take. This atmospheric oxygen will get acid from the atmosphere. Acid means which is present in moist air. Moist air means certain amount of water is there. So for example, H2O, when water dissolve in carbon dioxide, we will get carbonic acid. When sulfur dioxide dissolve in water, we get sulfurous acid, H2SO3. Like that, we will get acid in the atmosphere. In the presence of that acid, this oxygen can utilize those number of electrons. 4 H plus have to take, 4 electrons have to take. These 4 hydrogens gets that oxygen and eliminated as H2 to H2. Then what's happening here? Overall reaction. So iron reacts with oxygen by using acid, then it will converted into ferrous ions and water. These ferrous ions involve in further oxidation and will convert into ferric. Ferrous ions further involve in ferric. These ferric ions, Fe plus 3 ions, will get oxygens are converted into Fe2 XH2 by taking water. Fe2O3 XH2. It is nothing but rust. Fe2O3 XH2 is nothing but rust. explain. For example, have to consider a iron rod. Iron rod. Here, one of the spot of iron rod can lose electrons and act as anode. So, how to consider a iron rod? So, one of the spot on one of the spot of one of the place of iron rod can lose electrons like this and convert into ferrous iron. These electrons can travel throughout the sheet. They can interact with the oxygen at where oxygen present on the iron rod and where wet is there. Okay, then these oxygen utilizes the 4 electrons by taking a acid which is coming from carbonic acid or any acid present in the atmosphere and convert into water. That means finally iron can react with oxygen by taking by using that acid H plus and convert into ferrous. These ferrous ion furtherly involved in oxidation and convert into ferric. By taking the oxygen, it will convert into Fe2O3 XH2O. It is nothing but rust. What is the formula of rust? Fe2O3 XH2O. First, iron can act as anode. This oxygen reaction act as cathode. So both anode and cathode involved in the reaction. That's why this phenomenon is called electrochemical phenomena. This phenomenon is called electrochemical phenomena. How we can remove this rusting? How we can inhibit rusting? Rusting manam ela avtam. How we can inhibit rusting? So just look here. How much time? Just see there. 8 minutes are there. It is enough. It is enough to explain how we can reduce rusting. అరే తుప్పును పట్టకుండా ఎలా ఆపుతాం? ఒకవేళ తుప్పు పడితే ఏమవుతుంది తుప్పు పడితే? ఇట్ కెన్ డ్యామేజెస్ ఐరన్ సార్. ఐరన్ బెంచి డ్యామేజ్ అవుతుంది సార్. సో దట్ వన్ ఈజ్ నాట్ వెరీ డేంజరస్ టు us. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, ఏ బ్రిడ్జ్ ఈజ్ మేడ్ బై ఐరన్. A bridge is made by iron. If it involves rusting, what's happened? The bridge will collapse. Dams will collapse. So like that, more damage is there. We just not think like that. So there is no damage if you are not think like that. But if you think like that, that larger machinery parts like that, in factories, larger machinery parts are there. No, if they are involved in rusting, what's happened? They demolished. They collapsed. So certain loss, economical loss is there. Okay, so that's why we want to prevent the rusting. So the first one is to prevent rusting, to coat the paint, and there is no exposure of iron in the atmosphere. But why we want to coat the paint? For prevent exposure of iron into the atmosphere. What's happened if iron is exposed to the atmosphere? Exposed to the atmosphere, it converts to ferrous iron. It involves in rusting due to this phenomenon. If you paint that spot, what's happened? It can't expose to the atmosphere. Now we can inhibit that first step. So we can paint with biphenyls. Now, so and also coated with inert metals. Coated with the inert metals. Inert metals are zinc, tin, silver. So those are inert metals actually. If you coated with those inert metals, there is no rusting, further rusting. Okay. Next, very important. If you coated with sacrificing metals. Sacrificing metals means if iron is coated with zinc, or iron is coated with magnesium. These magnesium or zinc involved in the rusting, and they can protect iron from the rusting. What's happened in the war? The king is present at the middle of the war, and the remaining soldiers can protect the king. Just like that, if you coat the iron with zinc or magnesium, this zinc or magnesium can involve in the rusting, and they cannot allow rusting of iron. That's why zinc or magnesium are called sacrificing metals. because they lost their identity there. So that's why they are called sacrificing metals. Okay, guys. So what is corrosion? There is no definition, I think, in your textbook. So I have to remember, it is very important. Corrosion means conversion of high pure metal into mineral form. అంటే ఇప్పటి వరకు మనం ఏం చేస్తాం, ఓర్ నుంచి మెటల్ ని ప్రిపేర్ చేస్తాం. కరోజన్ అంటే ఏంటి, మెటల్ మలయంగా మారిపోతుంది, ఓర్ గా మారిపోతుంది డ్యూ టు ఎన్విరాన్మెంటల్ యాక్షన్. సో కన్వర్షన్ ఆఫ్ హై ప్యూర్ మెటల్ into its mineral form is nothing but corrosion. So if iron involved in the corrosion, that process is called rusting. If silver involved in the corrosion, that process is called tarnishing. So in case of iron, first it involved in the oxidation, it loses electrons. Loses electron converted into ferrous iron. It acts as anode. Now those electrons can move freely throughout the sheet of iron. Where the oxygen is there, where their weighted acid is there, then that oxygen utilizes the acid H plus and electrons will convert into water. Overall reaction, by taking the oxygen, iron will convert into ferrous. Now these ferrous furtherly converted to ferric, and ferric will convert into ferric oxide Fe2O3 by taking water XH2O. It is nothing but rust. Okay, guys. Now, for example, there is activity in your book. There is activity in your book. I want to mention that activity. Listen here. Petals are taken in a small test tube. Petals. How to take 3 test tubes? A, B, C. So now how to take petals? Iron pieces have to take in a test tube. Their iron pieces have to take in a test tube. There also have to take iron piece in a test tube. Now how to add oil here? Now how to add calcium chloride here? All are opened. All are opened. First one is not having anything, just having having iron pieces. Second, B1 having oil with iron pieces. Third one having a calcium chloride with iron pieces. All are closed with a rubber cork. Have to take certain amount of water, whatever. Okay, all are closed with a rubber cork. Then what's happened? Look here. After certain days, what's happened? B and C are not involved in rusting. You only involved in rusting actually. Why? Because oil can form as a layer on these metal pieces on the water. It cannot allow oxygen through it. Oxygen oil localki vellaledu. If there is no oxygen, there is no conversion of iron into ferrous. Further no conversion ferric oxide. That's why it don't want it not involving the rusting due to absence of oxygen. Now what's happened here? By using CaCl2 can absorb moisture. CaCl2 can absorb moisture due to absence of H plus. Here, due to absence of H plus, these test tube iron pieces of these test tubes are not involved in the rusting. But here, this A is directly exposed to the atmosphere. Free supply of water is there. Free supply of H plus is there. Free supply of oxygen is there. That's why A test tube is readily involved in the rusting. But B is not, C is not. This is the rusting phenomena and also corrosion phenomena, guys. Okay. Today's topic is extraction of crude metal with low reactivity. Next, purification of metals. 4 categories. Purification of metal by 4 methods: distillation, liquefaction, electrolytic refining. Then that one is liquefaction, distillation, electrolytic refining. Another forget that, guys. Polling, stirring. That one is polling. Next one is corrosion is the phenomena. Corrosion for iron. How we discussed there, and activity present in the book, in your book. Okay, guys. I hope you understand. Read the textbook carefully and take the material and complete the applicative questions. Okay, see you tomorrow, guys. I will